Let me see if I can change this setting. All right, so I'm working on my, get ready to work on my Make 9. Um, Working on my lighting situation in here, y'all. Ooh, that's not what I want. That looks foggy and hazy. Thank you for the thumbs up. Okay, we're just gonna go with that. All right. Oh, thank you so much. God's blessings are for us. Amen. Tell me your name. I'm just gonna turn this around here. Not sure how to get that lighting any different than that, but I hope y'all can see it okay. Give it a minute for y'all to come in. We've got so many water bottles. Hey, Sandra. Hey, Linda. All right. Is this Miss Linda? Is it Linda Swift? What Miss Linda? Miss Linda. Hey. Um, is this the water I want? I got so many water bottles around here. After a while, after I left them here for so long, I use them to fill my iron up. All right. Let's make sure I got everything. I got my little snips. Um, Let me get this off of here. Okay. Thank you for the thumbs up. Can y'all see me okay? I'm not sure what color thread I want to use. I'm working with my Make 9. Uh, uh, hey, Lady Nick. Talk Town Nick. Hello. All right, so I'm trying to decide. I've got everything cut out, so I'm trying to decide which one that I want to work on. All right, so I'm trying to decide if I'm going to do this one, work on that one, or if I'm going to work on this one. Not sure. This one will probably be the easiest one to get finished because it doesn't have um, many things to do. You know, like this one, I've got buttons and buttonholes or snaps to do. I think I'm going to do buttonholes. Well, I don't know if I'm going to do buttonholes. It might be easy for me to try to do snaps. So, but what I thought I was going to use, uh, yeah, I'm not sure. Like she's got some large snaps on here, which is really pretty. I've got some gold buttons that I was going to use on another project that I thought about using here, but then it would require me to use buttonholes, and I'm not sure if I want to do buttonholes. I just started, Lady Nick. Yeah, I just started. Hey, Sparkle Parker. So, do I look? Is this looking dark and hazy? I can't. It's looking a little dark to me. Mm-mm. It's looking a little dark to me, and I'm not sure what to do about that. Anyway, thinking I may go with this one. If I go with this one, then that means I need to go ahead and do the collar. I need to press the interfacing on the collar. So if you're new to my YouTube, I can't even talk to y'all. You're new to this YouTube channel. My name is Olympia, and I am working on my Make 9. And what Make 9 is, if you're not familiar with that, Rochelle, with Rochelle Handmade by Design, she prompted this challenge for us. It's almost like a bingo card. And so you have to decide, we had to determine, it's really a goal setting. What do you call it? A goal setting plan, if you will. All right, thank you so much. It's really like a goal setting plan. And so we have to say up front, what it is that we want, what do we desire to make. Had to choose 9 things, or at least 8, and the one in the middle would be like a free space, okay? So I said I established the 9 things that I wanted to accomplish and get done. And so there's a timeline to get all of these things done. And so we've had a timeline to pick the pattern, pick the fabric, uh, fit it, mark it up, do the fit manipulations or whatever, and then cut it out, or do a muslin, cut it out. All right, so y'all know I did all of the cutting out. My last video, you saw me cutting this pattern out. You saw me cutting this one out, I believe. You saw me cutting this one out, I think, prior to that, but I did a video on Instagram. I do. I have an overhead light. That's why I don't understand. And of course, when it's lighter during the day, it's lighter. But um, hold on for a minute. Let me see if I can get my son to bring uh, my camera light. Hold on one moment. Let me see. Is there a... Okay. Yeah, I had to put you on mute so y'all can hear my conversation. All right, so while he's doing that, getting my light, he's got ring lights, photo ring lights, and I have two. I'm not sure where mine is, and I guess I probably need to start setting those up. Um, so while he's doing that, give me just a second. A small light behind you may work. You know what? Hang on, give me just a second, because that might work. That's a tiny bit better. That's a little bit better. All right. Yeah, so I do have lights. Ooh, I know it's going to get hot in here. I have one coming this way. He's looking for the ring light. And then I have the one on behind me. I don't know if you can kind of see the lighting from there. So is that a little bit better? Hope that's a little bit better. And so right now, yeah, I'm trying to decide what color thread I want to use. Um, I'm thinking I'm gonna go with, well, I'm not gonna go with this. I'm gonna put this aside. I think I've decided that I'm gonna go with this other one. Um, yeah, I don't know. What do I want to do? Because this is pretty. Okay, y'all. What do y'all want to see me? It's much better. Okay, what do y'all want to see me work on? Y'all remember this is live, okay? So y'all hang with me while I maneuver through all of the lighting and the different things. It just seems really, really dark. Hey, Tawanda, thank you so much for coming in live. Um, I'm gonna do something else. Okay, hang on. Not sure why. All right, yeah, I'm trying to get all of this squared away. Okay, that's not gonna stay up. Don't know why. Hey, Nancy, the McCall's dress. Okay, y'all see that? Okay. All right, so the McCall's dress. So this dress, okay. Ooh, Nancy, I'm glad you said so. All right, so I chose this fabric. It's a ITY knit. I actually got this from a store in Atlanta called Fine Fabrics, and it's got a pretty moderate stretch to it on the cross grain. All right, so this is what I'll be working with. All right, and so I did some modifications to it. If you watched my last video, you'll see that I did just some small modifications. If it gets warm, phone should be able to brighten. Okay. Yeah, so I did some modifications to it. If you saw my last video, if you haven't, go back to the last one that I did. And I brought the neckline in a little bit on both sides, about 1.5 inches, because it was a little too open wide. You can see right here on this video, on this picture, see how wide open that neckline is? I didn't want mine open that much. I didn't want that much space to be showing. Besides, I know we love fine fabrics. All right, so you have to be mindful of how your body is and how what accentuates your body. Um, and so I know for me, because I have narrow shoulders, to bring an open neckline out like that, and fabric is just here, it's just going to make me look that much more narrow. It's going to bring my shoulders in. So in order to accentuate me, I bring this in a little bit more so you see less skin, and it brings more fabric out, if that makes sense. So it makes me look a little bit wider across. What accentuates me even more, especially if I have a strapless, not a strapless, but sleeveless dress on, if there's less skin, um, if I bring in atop my upper, like the sleeves, if I bring them here, essentially, if you see more shoulder, it extends me out this way. So you kind of have to know how your body flows and how your body works, what looks good on you before you just make something, right? You want to make something that you're going to be proud of, that you're going to love, and that you're going to want to wear. So that was one of the adjustments that I did. I adjusted the neckline about 1.5 inches on both sides. Did it in the front and also in the back. So that'll bring that in, and you'll see how that works. I also, I'm actually doing view B. Okay. So I actually cut out a collar to add to this. And the collar, I came from another pattern. So it's kind of a Franken hack or Franken pattern, if you will, just subtle. And then I believe, I want to say that I lengthened this maybe about 4 or 5 inches because I want mine to come below the knee, not like too below the knee, but I want to give it a little bit of length. All right, I want too short on me. What else did I do? I want to say that's it. Um, mm, yeah, I think that's it. Just bringing that in, and you can see right here on the on the pattern that I actually kind of drew it in to kind of reflect what I did. All right. So other than that, it's pretty much self-explanatory, simple. So I'm going to lay the Mimi G pattern aside and I'll work on that next. Now, all of this has to be done, both these patterns have to be done by February 19th. All right, so y'all say a prayer for your sister because I want to get it done. These are things that I can work on for me. So I'm having to try to figure out a schedule for myself because I also, many of you know that um, I have a business where I custom sew, do alterations for clients. And so I have lots of work that needs to be done in that regard. But I still need to carve out some me time, right? So tonight, is me time. All right, so the only thing I have to do before I get started with this is to go ahead and sew press the interfacing in place on the collar. The other thing that I wanted to have done was to make cuffs for the sleeve. So I'm going to see once I get done if I still want the cuffs or not. All right. So bear with me while I press this collar in place. I was trying to decide if I wanted to press the interfacing on both the upper collar and the under collar because I hate when the under collar, a part of it, especially if it's knit, that it slips and puckers, like it doesn't lay right. I wanted both the collars, I want the upper collar and the under collar to be firm. I want it to be heavy, too heavy for the fabric, but I do want it to be stable. That's a better word. I want it to be stable. All right, so I think I am. I cut interfacings out for both the top and the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and press those in. So give me just a few minutes, just a minute or so to get it done. Thank y'all for obliging me while I get this done. I didn't want to set up my little tabletop iron because I could work with my gravity feed a little bit faster. All right, so bear with me. All right, I'm still here, y'all. Don't go nowhere. I got my son setting up the other light.
Is this good?
Mm-hmm.
You can play around with it if you need to.
Okay. Yeah. That should be a lot brighter.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, y'all. About to get it done. I've got one down. I usually use my heat press to press the interfacings on because it takes a lot less time. It takes literally maybe about 5 minutes. Well, it don't even take 5 minutes when I use the heat press, but I don't have my heat press set up close by. So again, y'all bear with me while I get this pressed on, and then I can sit down and sew. I was thinking I was going to use the other pattern, but I didn't want to use that. Yeah, I'm not set up where y'all can see what I'm doing away from the camera. Not yet. So y'all bear with me. Almost there. Okay, yeah. All right, so I really hope I gave it enough time. Um, all right, I hope I gave it enough time. All right, whose birthday is in 8 days? Hey, Miss Vicky, how art thou? Thank you so much for watching. Y'all, please share this out. I know a lot of folks are watching Super Bowl, finishing that up. Is anybody watching Super Bowl and someone? Not me. All right, so I got a little bit more light on the subject. Hang on. Could sneeze. Sorry. Excuse. Not sorry, but bless. Excuse me. All right, so it's a little bit better, right? I, Miss Vicky, am working on my Make 9. Are you familiar with the Make 9 project? Make 9 challenge. Rochelle with Handmade by Designs is hosting this challenge where we are committed to make 9 garments or do 9 things, whatever those 9 goals or plans that we have, and then we have timelines to get it done. And so I don't know why I did this, y'all. I don't know why at this time, because between January and March is very busy. Is my busiest season at David's Bridal. And so it's hectic and then it's busy here. So I don't know why I chose my first block to be 2 dresses. 2. Crazy, right? Rochelle with Handmade by Designs. And she's here on you can find her here on YouTube. You can also find her on Instagram. I should have tagged her handle in here, but I didn't. But if there's anybody that's following Rochelle, Handmade by Designs, please tag her in this. Okay. Or I don't know if you can tag her. Super Bowl, Good Times, Golden 50, and you on YouTube. I know, right? All right. So, but yeah, this is what I'm doing. So, who was it earlier? Miss Nancy said I should go ahead and work on this dress, which I agree with Miss Nancy. So this is what I'll be doing. All right. So without much more talking and no working, I'm going to go ahead and start working. All right, I just need to see where my uh, thread is, because I might end up having to rethread. All right, let's see. Ooh, I'm glad I looked because I don't have no black thread. Look. All right, so you know what then? I may just start putting it together with, no, I don't want to do that. Because you know what I found out is that this machine is very finicky. All right, my Juki he's starting to get old in his age, getting senile, and so he won't take us. He's getting very finicky about the thread that he takes. So he likes Gutermann thread. I used to be able to sew with my cone thread with no problems, and I think when I changed over to the servo motor, it decided that it didn't want to eat maxi lock thread no more. So let me, especially when it comes to knits. So let me get some Gutermann thread or some Metro or Metazine. One of the two. I need to make sure I have some in black. Or if I have black, then I'll use ivory. Well, this is what it's going to be. I think that'll be fine because the basis of it on this particular dress is white. And then I have ivory. It's like a soft white. Okay. Got all my tools with me. So this is the thread. It's not Gutermann or Metrozine, but it's dual duty, which is just as good. And so it's an all-purpose thread. So it just don't like the maxi lock or the serger thread, serger cone thread. So I'm gonna put that aside, and I need to find me I need to find out. Oh, here it is. I need to find me an empty bobbin. All right, so is Tawanda the only one watching the Super Bowl? I don't even know who's playing, y'all. That's how bad it is. I don't do Super Bowl stuff. I'm not a sports fan. So, okay, so I might have to rob some thread from some one of these things. I need to take this out because I don't know where that one came from, but it doesn't even match. And I can't use any of those. And I can't find my new ones. All right, so I'm just going to unwind one. This is how I end up getting all of that thread. See, I only like it for the commercials too. Scrapping Diva for Lisa. How art thou? Thank you so much for watching. Yeah, this is how I end up with that thread, extra thread. So y'all know I'm not the only one that winds thread on top of thread. Why did we do that? So I'm going to go ahead while I'm doing this, Wanda, before I get started, go ahead and wind the extra bobbin because once I get, it's almost over. Okay. Who's playing? Don't tell nobody I asked that, okay? Okay. So that's exactly how I get that extra thread, and I keep it. All right, so about to get started here. All right. I just want to make sure that I don't run out. Okay. All right, so let's talk while that's happening. Okay. You don't know? You hear it because I was watching it? Okay. Okay, Kansas City and San Francisco. I should have known because my pastor was talking about this in church today. Uh, oh, Scrap and Diva said Kansas City and San Francisco. All right, thank you. So are you all watching or you just listening like Vicky? All right, so let's see, what am I going to put together first? All right, so all right, I am going to, I do have one extra bobbin. I'm going to go with this one first since I wound it. And then if it just unwinds. Okay, y'all please tell me what I did with the, did y'all see what I did with the bobbin case? Oh, there it is. All right. That's too much to bring through there. All right. So the other thing that I did some fit adjustments. You all will see that. And in my fit adjustments, I needed to do uh, back length adjustment in the bodice area. I needed to shorten it. And then when I shortened it, I lengthened the skirt part. Okay. So to make sure, and this was only in the back, to make sure that I had enough to cover my length. So when I shortened it in the waist, it also it took away from the length of it. So I added length back through the hip area so that I wouldn't have my skirt hiked up in the back, riding my butt in the back, if that makes sense. So because I have a sway back, I also, this back piece is cut on the fold. So in order for me to make sure that I get the curve and the integrity of the back that I'm looking for, I cut my back piece on in two pieces instead of cutting it on the fold. All right. So I had to add like a seam allowance to the back piece. So yeah, I think it was it in the front? Yeah. I thought it was the back where I added in. Maybe it wasn't. It was on another piece. Oh, I hope it wasn't the front that I added that on. I put it in the front. Oh, you know what? It wasn't this pattern. It was the, I think it was the Mimi G pattern that I did that. But I did have to shorten the waist on this. Oh, yeah, here it was. I lengthened it down here on the hem instead of at the top. So I shortened it here at the waist and I lengthened it back down here. So to keep that. So I'm going to go ahead and stitch up the back center back seam. And I may also go ahead and stitch up the collar so I can have that out the way as well. All right, and I'm going to sew this on a 3. I'm going to start that off and see how that works. But before I stitch this up, I'm going to make sure that the stitch length is going to be good with this fabric. Okay. I don't know where my big giant clips at, but I'll just use these tiny ones just to hold this in place. All right. So this is my test piece. All right. Miss Vicky, there are no dumb questions, ma'am. None whatsoever. There are no dumb questions. Okay. All right, so a sway back is in other words, I have a tootie booty. Like my back curves like that. So it goes in and there's a little curve right in there. Like some people are straight back, right? But mine is like that. So I have a little tootie booty, if that makes sense. I have an indent in my back. So so a lot of times when I make my garments, if I don't make the necessary adjustments, the fabric, my dresses or my tops or whatever, they crumple in the back. Well, that's not necessarily a sway back issue. It is, but it's not. It's two things. My back length is shorter, so I can make that adjustment by shortening my back length from my back neck to the waist. I shorten that usually about 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches, and that'll help with that. But because it curves, like say for instance in my pants, because I have a sway back, whenever I wear my pants, my pants gape in the back. So I have to end up taking maybe 1.5 inches, 2 inches out in the back seam in order to make it fit flesh to my back. Hope that makes sense. So those are usually the adjustments that I have to make. All right, so yeah, I'm not sure why why this is not staying up. Okay, there it is. I want you to be able to see. Okay, it's not going to let me span this out a little bit, but I hope you all can see this okay as I do this. So right now what I'm doing is going to just do a test stitch. This is just a piece of scrap, and I just want to test the stitch. This fabric. I didn't change the needle yet because I'm thinking I just changed this needle. Okay, so see how it's the tension is a little bit too tight. That loosened it up some. Okay, yeah, that was a lot better. The only thing about this is when stitching, I'm not planning on, this dress doesn't require a lot of stretch or pull. So I don't really need a stretch stitch. My Juki does not afford me to change like the stitch setting. So it's just one stitch setting. And that's just straight. No zigzag stitch, no stretch stitch, none of that. So I'll try to stretch it as I go. But again, because of this type of dress, it doesn't require much stretch. The only concern I would have is like in the arms, bending at the elbow and stuff like that. That would be a concern of mine, whether the stitches will pop or not. So I may have to go over that again with the regular machine, my Singer machine. But right now, I just adjusted the stitch length. So you can't tell it on here because I think I kind of smoothed it out. But when I started out, it was tight and bunching up. That means the tension was too tight. So I loosened it up, and so that's a lot better. All right, so let's go ahead and get the back done. And I'm using a 5/8 inch seam allowance. We'll make sure that this starts off balanced out even. Now what I do, because it doesn't have the stretch to it, or not using a stretch stitch, I'll try to stretch it a little bit, like pull it a little bit as I go. This fabric is not going to pull out of shape, this particular type. It just allows me to allow it to a little bit of give while I'm sewing it. So to have just a little bit of resilience, a little bit of bounce back. So I don't know if you can see that, like there's a little bit of give in there, just a little bit. So less chance of the threads popping while I sew. While I wear it. Okay. Hey, Lynette, how art thou? Oh, you're welcome, Vicky. You're welcome. And please remember, there are no dumb questions. If you don't, you won't find out if you don't ask, right? I mean, I guess there can be some dumb questions, but you know, dumb questions just don't get answered. How about that? I think dumb questions are intentionally dumb. You know the difference between those. People just ask some crazy stuff. They just get ignored. All right, so here again, just a little bit of resilience, a little bit of bounce back. Lynette says, it's going into overtime. Oh, sounds like a good game. So listen, when sewing on your juki with stretch fabric, could you use stretch thread? I probably could, Lynette. I need to try that. Never tried that because most of my projects that I work on with my juki, um, I don't have to use stretch thread because, I'm mostly doing bridal and formal wear, so I don't use a lot of stretch fabric. Um, but I will try it out. Here lately, Juki, I was explaining earlier, my Juki has gotten a little senile, or either it's gotten a little bit finicky since I changed it to a servo motor, and it doesn't like serger thread as much as it did. Like I can sew all my projects with serger thread with no problems, and so it's gotten a little snooty in the type of thread it takes. So I mean, I ain't mad at it, but all right. So it's a little bit of resilience there, right? So, but definitely I would try that. All right. So I have my serger over here by me. So I may just rotate you all back and forth so I can work from it as well. While I'm at it, there's more thread that I'm saving. So I'll rotate you all back and forth. I got my little tea, my drink warmer here. Get your coffee. Sorry, I didn't mean to blind you. And I think my blade, I just changed my blade, so I don't know if it was a dull blade, but it seems like my blade doesn't want to act right. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. Try this. Yeah. Either I got my blade on wrong or something. I'm not sure what's going on with it. just because I'm here, just because I've gone live, it don't want to do right. So I may just have to forego that part of it until I can get it all cut. Check on that. Try to give it one. Yeah. I'm not sure what's going on. I have to find out what's going on with that. But I can go back in and serge it. All right. So we'll forego that part for now. I just want to get to it. It's a Juki. It's a Juki M6884D. Do you remember, Lynette, how I used to do my lives? Remember how I used to do my lives and my motor was real loud? Like you can hear it real loud. So the servo motors are quiet. Like you can't really hear it. So let me just show you. Let me know if you remember, because I used to do lives and it used to bother me. People's like, your motor is so loud. Well, you only hear it when it's when I'm sewing it, but you remember when I wasn't sewing it, you would hear it would just hum. You just It sounded like a loud motor. So now you only hear it when I'm sewing, but it's not loud like that. It's just a regular sewing machine, sewing noise. So that's what made me do it, because it's quiet. All right, so that's my test fabric right there. Yes, it used to hum real bad. Yep. So that's why. All right, so at least I got the back seam stitched out. And y'all know what I like about this knit fabric. Now, I'm a fan of sewing, pressing as you go. But with the knit like this, you really don't have to. Can you see this? Can you see the line? Can't really see the line, can you? Oh, there it is right there. So, but you really can't see where it needs to be pressed. So I'm just going to keep sewing. Now, I'm a fan and an advocate of pressing as you go, but because I'm on live, I'm going to forego that also. And I'm only going to press what I need to press. Like I'll probably end up pressing this collar out. Okay. Now, you all will find, if you've been watching me any length of time on any of these social media, out here in these social media streets, anywhere between our Facebook group or Instagram, you'll know that I don't like to um, use a lot of pens, but I use them when necessary. Okay. And I want to say, I hope that's the collar. No, I think I'm about to. Ooh. Let me just make sure of what is the upper collar. Okay. So I'm thinking I'm getting ready to sew up the wrong part. Okay, so this is the part that goes to, yeah, I'm getting ready to sew up the wrong part, y'all. Getting ready to make a big, huge mistake. Because this part looks like the lapels, looks like the collar part, right? But it's not. See that big, deep curve? That's the part that goes to the neck. And this part, this flat part right here, is the upper part. All right, so let's go ahead and reverse that. I think I was sewing it right. I think I was pinning it right. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this. to make sure. Do one more stitch. So right there, that curve. Try not to have a lot of fabric, a lot of stitching at the curve, because I want to cut most of that fabric out of the curve. Come on. Okay. Just make sure everything is still good. Now that noise that you hear, and I feel like I have to explain this every time I come live. That is when the guy changed my motor out. He didn't have a long enough cord or long enough belt, and so they pieced my belt together. So I'm gonna actually probably have to get me a new belt. I just never have. All right. So what I was cutting away there was an overlap interfacing. And for some reason the tension is a little tight there. Okay. Just making sure I meet those curves. Hey, Lady Demetra, how art thou? All right. So see what I did here. Now I am going to press this out, but see what I did here on the curve. I didn't, sometimes we stitch over and just cut cat a corner. Where if I don't do that, then I can cut as much of this out in the corners as I possibly can without any bulk in there. All right, but what I am going to do is right here at the very peaks. Oh, you didn't see that, sorry. Right here at the very peak, right there, I'm going to just cut, I'm going to stitch diagonally, almost to act as a stopper. So when I do get ready to turn this inside out, I won't pierce a hole right through it. Just kind of cat a corner right there in that corner. Do that on both sides. Just cat a corner. Okay. All right, so let me give this a little press, and then I'm going to trim that and then flip it inside out. Yes, reducing the bulk. Oh, so it reinforces it when you go to poke it. Exactly. So I don't know if you can see it. So you can see I didn't stitch it just right there in the upper corner right there on both sides. Just right there. So that makes it, like you said, reinforces it so you don't poke a hole through the corners. All right. Give me a second. I just want to press this flat. This way I can trim this as close as possible. All right. So I'm going to trim that as close as possible to that little peak. All right. One of the other things that I like to do is because I need to probably understitch as much of this as I possibly can, and then here what I should have done was understitch this first and then stitch those up, but that's the way I did it. So but anyway, I like to reduce as much of that fabric at that point as possible. And then I cut my um, fabric at a slant. And what that does is, if it's done right, it just gives a subtle graduation between the layers. Okay. So I don't know if you can see it. See how the top layer is a little bit shorter than the bottom layer? There's a little bit of graduation there. So it's called grading. You can do it by trimming it out one piece at a time, but a lot of times you can get it just by angling your scissors like this and trimming it out, and it'll grade it. And that helps reduce bulk too. And if you want to go in there and reduce it a little bit more, you can. All right, but definitely right there in the corners, you want to reduce some of that bulk out of there. Okay. Uh, No, actually, Vicky, I need to go back and discuss all of my make nine. So no, you didn't miss it. You just hear me talking about these two pieces. So I really do need to go back. I want to do a video. I think in that one video, I'll discuss the make nines. And there's some other things that I want to talk about as well. Um, and then of course, so much talent itself has it's not really a challenge, but just we have, what do you call, challenges or prompts, if you will. So like this last month, and Vicky, you probably was a part of that, I don't know, but we did the our annual stash busting fast. So this month is a little bit lighter. So the only thing that we're doing this month is sewing everything and anything on Cara. Just something to keep us sewing. Yes, Lynette, it's like grading. So instead of doing the one piece at a time, um, if you cut it at an angle, it causes one layer to fold under, if you will. I don't know if you can, oh, you can't see that. Um, yeah. So can you see that? All right. But like I said, you can get one layer a little bit closer if you like. But right there at the corners, I like to get it a little bit closer. I like to cut at an angle, like barely, hardly anything right there at the corners, because that definitely reduces the bulk. Yes, you definitely need sharp scissors. All right. I don't know if you can see what it does, but it causes like the bottom, um, the top layer to kind of curve a little bit more over to where the scissors are. Not much, just a little bit. Um, and you can trim it a little bit more if you want to, but and then angle back right there at the top. Okay. Yeah, I have my kinds are somewhere around here. I'm not sure, but these actually were some really good scissors. I want to say, Tawanda, when we were at the retreat, you remember somebody had left these scissors behind? And these were just some basic scissors, but they're stainless steel, and they work really good. But I do prefer the Kais, and I also like the Fiskars. And the Fiskars have like the thick scissors, scissors for thick fabric scissors. I like that. Um, but I find myself using these a lot when I don't have my ties on hand. And I think my ties are on the table, cutting table. Lynette says I had a. Oh, wait a minute. Vicky says yes, and I extended my no buy because I bought fabric from Goodwill. It unfortunately have not finished. Oh, you haven't finished the UFO. All right, so yeah, I think I remember you posting that you had bought some fabric from Goodwill, which is pretty fabric, by the way. Lynette says, got a pair of Guggenheims a few months ago. How do you like those, Lynette? How do you like the Guggenheims? All right, so I am going to go in and I'm going to understitch here, and I'm going to fold the side. I'm going to understitch to the side that has the less fabric. So I'm going to allow the so it's essentially going to look like this. Like the taller layer is going to overshadow the smaller layer, if that makes sense. So it's not reducing a whole lot of bulk, but at the same time it is. All right, so I'm going to get in there and I'm going to understitch as far as I can go. So I'm do this all the way around. Generally, and I didn't do this because I was running my mouth, but generally I would understitch the top layer first and then sew the sides together. They are kind of heavy for me. I tend to use cotton the most. Yeah. Vicky says my son bought me some for Christmas a couple of years ago. I love them. What, the Guggenheimers? Yeah. I haven't bought those. They look like they're heavy. All right, let's go in and get this in here to make sure that the I love this fabric. It feels so good. Mhm. So I'm gonna get as close up to that point as it allow me, and then I'm gonna stop. Now, if you are a perfectionist like I can be sometimes, then you might want to do like I mentioned earlier and understitch the top part first, and then stitch the sides of your collar together, so you can have a more cohesive stitching, understitching. All right. Thank you, Felisa. Where are you watching from? All right. So I did bring my. I love this right here because it has so many uses. This little gadget from Clover. There's another one that I have. It's made by Fiskars. that I use too. I've been using lately, but because it has these little points, the ends right here, I can push my fabric out. From Oklahoma. Okay, awesome, awesome. Well, thank you for watching from Oklahoma. All right, so I'm gonna go in and push this out, and it might not be enough to push out like I want. So I may, let me see. This doesn't have a fine point, but let me see if it'll get the job done. It's not as fine as I would like it. Let me clip some of that thread out. Are there any other perfectionists out there besides me? Oh, I know what that is. I didn't clip. When I was moving from one side to the next, I didn't clip it. All right, so this is why I like to interface both pieces, because when it lays down, when the collar lays down, I don't like a flimsy piece of fabric on a collar. Even when it comes to stable fabric. Now I'm using a pen to poke it out a little bit more. Hey, Lady Mo, how art thou? Good to see you. Um, just be careful that you don't pick your fabric, okay? If you have to, this is good to save your dull needles to do something like this so you don't poke through, but it's good to get that out. Okay, so there we go. That's why we reinforce those ends, so when you do this, it doesn't pick your fabric apart. Okay. Let me do it from this end. I think what happened was I stitched a little bit over. That was. It's okay. Press it. No, I don't like thread sticking out. I'll sit here and I'll pick all day long. All right, so there we go. So I'm going to go ahead and give this another press. All right, so I've got my corners out. All right, so let me give this a little press and I'll be right back and I'll have my collar ready. Okay. While I'm at it, I'm going to grab my blocker so I can get a really crisp press on this collar, and I'll show you what I'm using. Next time I'll set my iron up, tabletop iron. Okay. All right, so here we go. All right, so see now it gives you a really nice crisp press. Can you see that? And that's what I like. So I use my blocker to do it. Most of you are probably familiar with the blocker. And I'm going to take this off my neck before it chokes me. All right, so I use this while I'm pressing to give it some good heat, and then press it, block it, so it'll give me a flat, crisp collar. Okay. Thank you so much, Lynette. I appreciate you. All right. So that's that. So I'm gonna lay that aside. That's my collar. And you know, I already did my back seam to my dress. All right. So let's see. I'm gonna put the sleeve aside. Got the collar aside. And we're gonna go ahead. I guess we can go ahead and do the belt too. Get that out the way as well. All right. I know I might do things a little bit backwards, but well, no. You know what? We can do that last. We don't have to do that right now. All right. So I've got this. That's the back. There are some ties, I think, and I want to make sure that I cut the ties out. So make sure. Okay, that's the belt. Well, that's the tie in. Oh, those are the ties, so they'll come into play a little bit later. You know what? I better grab this to make sure that I'm doing everything correct. A lot of times you'll find that I don't like to sew with who won? The Chiefs won? What? I'm saying what like I know who they are. I don't. Sorry. So if you're going for the Chiefs, congratulations. All right. So maybe I should follow the pattern, y'all. I think I'm not one that follows patterns all the time because they get in the way. So I did do this a little bit backwards. And I am going to go ahead and do those ties. And the reason being because they get ready to come into play in a little bit. So I want to make sure I have those ready when I get ready to do them. All right, so, and I sew these up separately. Okay. Let's go ahead and get this sewn in. Now I want to make sure that there is no, like sometimes it'll tell you that it's only a 3/8" seam allowance. I want to make sure that it's not. Okay. So according to this, looks like 5/8 of an inch. Okay. So I'll just stop and stitch that pretty good there. All right. All right, so here we go again. Somebody's child playing. That's okay. At least while you're here, tap that like button. Appreciate you, chicken. If that's what you came here for a shout out, at least like the broadcast.
Yes. TV one, this one they did on the last day.
Okay.
Last run. They had Kansas City had the ball like on the 8-1.
Alright. All right. Okay. You was cutting out fabric for another quilt top. Okay, awesome. I like your when you do your quilt tops, Mo. I think you should show us all how to get into this quilting. I want to do one with this Ankara fabric. I bought pieces specifically for that, you know, because I want to make a topper, like a comforter top or blanket cover, a coverlet. That's what I want. All right. So that's one tie down. Hello, 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 Melinda Ebling. Thank you so much. Bulldog, all of those that are coming in. Thank you. I appreciate you all. If you don't mind, tap the like button, like the contents. All right, let's go ahead and get this other one done. So I'm sewing up the ties right now. Going ahead and get those out of the way. And I'm using a 5/8" seam allowance. And notice I give the thread at the end when I begin it. I give it a little tug. That way the fabric won't get caught in the feed dogs because it is knit. It doesn't always happen, but sometimes it can throw it off. So just want to make sure there we go. Just kind of double stitch back there. Just give it a little tug at the beginning. I am actually making McCall's pattern 6884. I'm making view B. Okay. Thank you so much, Mo. I appreciate it. I think you need Jesus. That's what I think you need. You don't need a machine to handle you. You need the Holy Spirit to handle you. That's what I think. All right. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and trim this down as much as I possibly can. You agree, Demetra? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and trim this to maybe about 1/4 inch. To about 1/4 inch seam allowance. And one of the good practices is this is a long pair of scissors. Looks like a 8" or a 9". It doesn't say on here, so it looks like 8 or 9 inches, 8.5 inches. But one practice is we have a habit of making small chops, but it's a good practice to make long strides, long cuts, strokes, if that makes sense, because it's easier on your wrist. But when you're doing little small chops like this, it's harder on your you're easier to get carpal tunnel or something like that. It's not good on your joints. Okay. I know I'm missing the dislike button too. I am. Wish there was a block button too. Or is it? Is there a block button? It's much easier to ignore though. Now, why do we cut in the air? All right, so I did the same thing on this, on the corner like I did on the collar. I didn't clip all the way. I didn't stitch all the way out. All right. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and let me go ahead and clip the other one. And then, well, actually, while I have this, let me go ahead and do it. I'm going to reinforce that corner a little bit. I didn't even do that. Didn't even sew all the way out. You have to block? Okay, if you can block, then go ahead and block. Because I don't mind. Just block away. Block, report, whatever. Some of them on here just for attention. As long as they don't say nothing stupid and out of the way, obscene, they ain't got nothing better to do. I said, I just hope it's a child, not a grown person. They ain't got much time, got too much time on their hand. But either way, they ain't my business. I'm here to do what I do. This reminds me of Periscope, y'all. Do y'all remember Periscope days? You used to get all kind of crazy stuff on Periscope. That's when the block game was real strong. I used to love the block. Okay. All right. Okay, I'm going to reinforce the curve on this one again. Camille, only if you're here in Georgia. So I do custom wedding gowns. You get married in a cheerleader costume. This right here is for me. I don't do much other stuff. I do prom, cotillion, wedding gowns, prom gowns. But I do mostly custom work, so I do mostly work for those that are in my local area because I need to see you in your dress. You cut in the air too. You cut in the air too, Mo. I don't know why we do that. The fabric is stretchy, Demetra. All right, so y'all see this? I have this on hand. Because usually, if you don't have something that you can turn this inside out, then you need to leave you like an opening, kind of midway to make it easier. This is not so much that you can't turn it out, turn it inside out. But I'll usually use this, or how many of you have the thread holder, serger thread holder that's separate? Because it's long, I'll use that too. Like this thing right here, because it's long. As a matter of fact, just anything will work, right? So I'll just take that and because this, I can press it up against me. I don't know if you can see that. Then it'll allow me to turn this inside out real quick. You don't have to have that. You can use that little stick I just showed you. You've got a ruler with something this wide. You can use a ruler. All right, and what did I just do? Okay, here's some needle. Like I say, your dull needles, if you mark your dull needles that you take out of your machines, you can use them to, as long as it don't have a snag in it, you can use them to poke, to push through your ends. All right, so there you go, we'll find end. Okay, and again, this ITY knit is really good, so it holds the shape real good. Like you can it's almost pressed. It almost seems pressed. You just kind of have to flatten it out. All right. And this is my mother just texted me. She's home from Super Bowl party. What? Your mama home from the Super Bowl party? What? Yeah. All right. So here we go again. Y'all, I remember I told you you can use. Okay, some didn't get cut. They didn't get that didn't get cut off good. So remember I told you everything in your sewing room could be used for everything. You know, for it has multiple uses. All right. All right. Just push it out as much as you possibly can. I'm trying to figure out, y'all, why am I hungry? I should be hungry. Well, when did I eat last? I don't even remember. It's at work. I had to work today. Mo, how have you been? I miss you. Lady Demetra, I miss you. Miss Lynn, where you been? You used to be our pattern girl. You used to keep up the 4-1, give us the 411 on pattern updates and stuff like that. Now there's new folks on the scene. Where you been? All right. I keep these things near me. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and press this out real quick, okay? Because now these are ready, so when I need to get to those, I can just pick them up and go. Oh, thank you, Lynn. I appreciate it. Using the circle thread thing, yeah, it's a game changer. Hang on, be right back. Oh, gotta grab my blocker. I need it, Chris. Chris. Having this gravity feed iron helps. One down and one to go. All right, almost done. This fabric is so pliable. I like it. Okay. All right, so that didn't take long. So give it a nice crisp press. I don't know if you can see that. Just love it. All right, nice crisp clean press. All right, so so now I can put these aside. What's that? Work has you busy. Um. Oh, you said you and Ayana. Oh, are you sick too, Demetra? Work has you busy. I know, Mom. I know. I miss everyone too. So much. I had a few surgeries. One, didn't you do something to your foot, Lynn? Okay. Good night, Mo. Love you much. All right. COVID. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I just saw Ayana's post. She said her whole family got COVID. All right. Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna put these ties aside, and I'm gonna put the back piece aside, and then we're gonna work on the front. Okay. All right, so the front piece. Let's see. We did B. So here's my front. Oh, you know what? What? Oh no, I think I did right. Okay, I did right. I thought I had cut wrong. Okay, so the front is asking me to uh, finish off the front. Finish the left side of right front. Finish. Okay, listen to this, y'all. Finish left side of right front below square with a 5/8 inch narrow hem. All right. Easing as necessary for view aid. Okay, so essentially it wants me to the center front piece is what it wants me to turn under. Okay, so this piece looks like this. Okay, so why does that look like that? Okay, so let me see why my piece look like it's curved out a little bit. Don't know why. Oh, I know why. Because remember I had to add in my width. I had to add in a little bit of shaping. You just getting over COVID? Oh no. Oh, you, hubby, and your mom? Oh no. Well, I am praying that you all feel much better. Thank you for saying that my fabric is beautiful. I appreciate it. All right, so I'm gonna make sure that I am following where it says that to turn under 5/8 of an inch below the square. So the square's on here. I gave my square a little clip, and so that would be right here. So I'm going to, everything below this square, I'm going to turn under 5/8 of an inch. Okay. So what I'm going to do is stitch 5/8 of an inch. Okay. Well, actually, I don't know about y'all. Does anybody like freehand? because I've been sewing it for a minute now, so I kind of know what 5/8 of an inch look like. Um, but you can also stitch right there if you like. Stitch it and then turn it under. But I'm just going to go ahead and turn it under. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and eyeball 5/8 of an inch. And so just to make sure I did it, Benai Taylor, tell me your first name. Is that your first name, Benai? Did I say that right? How are you? Those of you that are coming in. All right, so I can flip this just a little bit more. Okay. All right. So I'm just gonna sew 5/8 of an inch. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it as I sew. All right. So I'm gonna turn it a little bit. Then I'm gonna turn it a little bit more. So that makes sense. Kind of eyeballing it. I'm gonna top stitch it. I'm gonna start stitching in place. And because this fabric is stretchy, I just want to be sure not to stretch it, okay? Now, if you're nervous to do this part, to eyeball it, you don't have to eyeball it. You can actually run a stitch, a 5/8 inch seam, uh, stitch 5/8 of an inch, and then fold it at the 5/8 of an inch stitch where you stitch it at. If you don't feel comfortable with eyeballing it. Okay. You don't want to stretch it as you sew it and as you turn it and sew it, okay? Who else eyeballs your stitches? Or do you press? And it's okay if you press and then sew. You could also stitch serge the edges and then turn under uh, 5/8 of an inch and stitch it down like that. But all it's requiring right here at this stage is just to finish off, give your the edge of this a clean finish. That's all it's asking. All right, and so this is what I did here. I don't know if you can see that. And that's what it looks like on this side. Okay. And I did that below the square mark. Okay. So that's one side. I'm going to do the next side. All right. You measure, press, measure more, and stitch. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. You still trying to get the hang of it? Thank you, Lynn. Yeah, definitely. I encourage you. If you don't feel comfortable doing it, don't play with it. You know, go ahead and mark it, like you said, Lynn. Mark it, press it, mark it. You know, because you don't want to mess up. You spend this time working on it. You don't want to mess up this stuff, right? Okay. All right. Now this is gonna. I have to do this one from the opposite side, from the bottom up. So you definitely don't want to stretch. All right, because you can definitely, if you stretch while you're going, you can make your fabrics wobbly. All right. Good night, Lady Demetra. Praying you feel well. All right. Who's Rebecca and why we congratulating? Tell me. I don't see it. Okay. Rebecca. Well, congratulations. All right. That's exciting to get engaged. All right. You don't want to stretch it. This is relatively a pretty quick dress. You got everything together. All right. And what I love about this, it really don't require a lot of pressing up front because if it looks like it's been pressed, don't it? So don't require a lot of pressing up front, but I like that part. Okay. All right, so that's done. So now it's asking to do the ties, do the ends, and so now on the outside, I place the ties on the opposite side. So on the outside, pin the ties to the side edges of right and front left, matching the small and large zeros, having raw edges even. All right. So on the opposite side of where I just stitched, right on the side seam, I have 2 notches for the, you can see, for the belt to go. And so I'm asked to put that down. And so it looks like they have the points of the ties going upwards. All right, so what did I do with my ties? Okay. All right, so that will be right. The points of the seams are going, the points of the belt or the ties are upwards. That's the flat side, the folded side. So always place the stitch side towards the hem, if that makes sense. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and place that here. And I'm going to place my pins horizontal to the seam, perpendicular or horizontal to the seam. The reason being, when I stitch this on, I don't want my belt to shift up or down. I want it to stay in place. All right. All right. I am Lady Nick. I am going to do a renewal of my vows. You're the second person that mentioned that today. At one of my my supervisor actually asked me had I started on my gown yet. So no. Do y'all remember a while back I asked y'all what y'all thought I should make? What I would love to know what you thought my gown should look like. Um, okay, looks like I have notches on one side but not the other. All right, so let's see. Where am I missing my notches at? Okay, so yeah, I don't know how that happened. Well, I got notches on one side and not the other. So yeah, I'll be curious to know what you thought my gown would look like. Yeah, I hate that I magnetized some of my pins by putting them on the magnets on top of my sewing machine. Okay. So here's the other one. Hola, hola, hola. All right, so here we go. Remember, point seams down. And I'm going to baste them in, meaning I'm just going to do a temporary stitch in to hold it because it's going to be stitched in the seam when the seams are sewn together. So I don't have to do a tiny stitch, but I mean, it's going to be stitched in anyway. It's not coming out, so it doesn't matter if you baste it. Usually basting is a large stitch that you can take out, but we're not taking this out, right? So why baste it? Just stitch it in there. And I'm going to do a 1/2 inch seam because I don't want the temporary stitch to show on the outside. So I'm going to do a 1/2 inch as opposed to 5/8 of an inch. Okay. Don't have to back stitch because it's not going anywhere. Okay. Yeah, I'm attaching the ties now. Yeah, I try not to throw my threads on the floor because I want to keep those. All right, so one tie is in. Okay, and let's see, where's the other tie pinned at? Okay, there we go. Don't want to run over my pins. All right, so the ties are in. All right, so now I can put that to the side. Okay, so the next thing that I'm doing is sewing the shoulders together for the back and the front shoulder seams. What style are you leaning towards? Formal, white tie? I would like to do probably like a black tie. Yeah, I would like to do a black tie. Yeah, I would like to do black ties. 35 years. So yeah, I want it to be really nice. Really? Okay, I hadn't heard that, Lynette, but if so, hey. Generally, it used to be that it was snow around my son's birthday, my oldest son. He's born February 6th, and it would always snow that week of his birthday. So it hasn't snowed yet, but hey, we could be getting some snow. All right, so I think, is that the back? What is that? Oh, you know what? You know what I did? That's why I didn't see the stitches, y'all. Why you didn't tell me? I was sewing up. Wait a minute. I think I sewed the belt on the back piece. That's what I did. That's why I didn't see the stitches. I couldn't figure out why was it that I didn't. How in the world did I get the notches cut on one piece and didn't do the other? That's because I was sewing the belt on the back piece, not the front. That's why you do basting stitches. That I didn't backstitch or anything. Okay, let me throw this back piece to the side. That's so funny. That's why I didn't see it. Okay, so that's the one front. Okay. All right, so here's the opposite. There we go. There they are. Yeah, they were they supposed to be. I wasn't where I was supposed to be. Um, colors. I haven't decided colors yet. Yeah, I haven't decided colors yet. When we first got married, our colors were peach and like a soft green. I don't know what they called it at the time, but it was like a peach and a like a sage green. It's kind of what it was. Yeah, but I don't know what I want my colors to be now, the truth be told. I hadn't even thought that far. Haven't really done much planning. Trying to decide what the venue, what kind of what we want to do. We had talked about one time doing a cruise, get married on a cruise. Don't know if that's what we're gonna do. Um, so yeah. Um, I told him, I said maybe we should just, do a nice something, hoping that we maybe have a move by then. We don't know. But it would have been nice. These are just things that we were thinking about that we can do it in our home, but he said, oh yeah, I'm about to lose y'all. Hang on. Y'all about to die. Let me get my cord. Uh-oh. Ooh, I thought I lost you. All right. It did allow me to reconnect. All right. So let's see. No, it froze because my phone died. Yeah, that's what happened. My phone died. So, but I'm back up. Um, so I am making for those for you that asked. Um, I am making this dress right here, Beauty. Yeah, I thought I saved y'all, but apparently the plug that I plugged it in, one side of it doesn't work. So, but yeah, that's what happened. All right, so I'm going to resume. Making this. You know what? I bet you. Did I do? I thought I did. Let's see, maybe I didn't. All right, so what I was supposed to have done. Hey, Vicky. Yeah. You have a sleeve in your jacket. Got sleeves in your jacket. Yeah. All right, so what I was supposed to have done, I thought I caught myself doing it was. Okay, so yeah, I did. I extended out the, uh, oh, you know what I didn't do? Let me see, how much did I extend it out on the, let's see, maybe I didn't do it as much. Okay, so I don't think I did it as much on the, okay, so I don't think I caught that. Okay, that's okay. All right, still gonna make it work. All right, so somehow I shorted myself on the shoulder seam. So there's a little bit of extra right there. So I'm just gonna treat it as a easing and ease that in. Since it's stretched, I can make that work. It'll be okay. All right, and then let's go ahead and pin this other side to the front. So I'm pinning the shoulder part first, and then I'll make the ease in the rest. Good night, Lady Nick. Good night. Is what inside out? Good night, good night, good night. Do I have to tie sewing? I'm new, would love to learn. Okay. Um, Now you were asking before you, I don't know if you left already, is it Jean? Do you have to tie a knot after sewing? I'm assuming that when you mean when you make a stitch, do you have to tie a knot? Yeah, I usually back stitch, or you can tie a knot to secure your seams and make sure that they don't come undone. But usually I do a back stitch on my machine, like go back and forth. Um, all right, so you'll see what I'm talking about here. Um, so I'm going to do a 5/8 seam allowance. So I'll start off and just back stitch right there at the beginning, and then I'll back stitch at the end. But I invite you to join us on our Facebook group, So Much Talent, um, where there's a lot of sewists in the group, from for beginners to uh, professionals, a wide range of sewists. So you're learning how to sew. It'd be a great group to be a part of. There's a lot of communities around that's teaching sewing, beginner sewing. Okay. I probably should have stabilized that. Okay. So just a little bit of easing there. I can press that in. But I may go over it one more time. But let me go ahead and get this other side in. Oh, there it is. All right. All right, you're welcome. You're welcome. Well, hello, Amani. How are you? Okay. Okay. Skin the back stitch that. I'll just tug on my strings a little bit so that the feed dogs won't eat my fabric in the beginning. Uh-oh, man. Somehow my fabric was folded on the bottom. You have to be careful so that don't happen. All right. So thank goodness for seam rippers. Let's pick that thread loose. All right, and I'll just go back over that part and stitch it. Okay. back stitch. I am going to go over this again. You want to definitely stabilize that part. Because you don't want that part, the shoulder seam stretching out of shape. So I'm going to press it, and I may stabilize it. I don't know. I'm going to go over this one more time. Thank you so much for saying the fabric is beautiful. I am making a dress. I'm going to give it a press real quick and flatten out that seam. Okay. All right, so I flattened out that seam. All right, so at this point, it's asking me to fold and turn under the, it's asking me to turn under the seam allowance, just like I did on the side. Just turn under and stitch it. But remember, I have the collar. And so let me try this, my serge again, to see if it's going to behave so I can finish off the shoulder seam. You can see me here. If it's not going to behave, then I'll have to do something different. I need to check my blade. Well, you know what? What I could do is go ahead and trim this. Let me just do that. And then I won't have to worry about it cutting the fabric. See, generally, your serger will cut and serge all at the same time, but for some reason mine is not behaving, so I'm just going to go ahead and trim this up and just serge it. I don't have to worry about it trimming anything. Why didn't I think about that earlier? Okay. All right. No, I don't. Don't have any leather to make a knife sheath. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and what I'm going to do is stitch. Oh, that's not my, here's my collar. Okay, so what I'm going to do is go ahead and stitch that. Stitch the layers together. Okay. Just want to make sure that that's still work on my tension issue. I'm gonna go flatten this out again. Right. Good night, good night. Good night, good night, good night. Okay. Right. My scissors picking up needles, pins. So cut me a little notch there to show the center. Okay. So now I'm just gonna stitch this on. Pin that to the shoulder there. Okay. And I'm trying not to pull on the fabric. And try not to stretch it, but matching up the shoulder notches. With the shoulder seam. Okay, just letting it lay without stretching or anything. Generally, you would stay stitch this area, but I'm not. Just gonna let it lay as it will. Then I'll just stitch it in place. I am gonna give myself little extra pins right here so that it will behave. Okay, I'm just going to trim this little extra off. I know that a little warped right here. Okay. All right, so I'm stitching this on top of the wrong side or the underside of the collar facing the right side of the fabric. I'm just going to stitch this about a ½ inch, seam, essentially basting this down, stitching it down, whatever you call it. I'm not going to use a basting stitch, use an actual stitch. I'm going to stitch ½ inch. Actually, I'll stitch 5/8 inch because I might just top stitch this edge down and top stitch that collar down. Make sure all fabrics underneath doing what it needs to do. Make sure my shoulder seams are pressed towards the back. Make sure there's no fabric that's puckered up underneath. Right. Right. So I've got that in. So then what I'm going to test this really quick and see how this folds around my neck. I'm going to use you as my mirror. So I don't have the sleeve sewn in yet, so it's going to okay. Use you as my mirror. Okay, so there we go. And that's going to fold over like this. Here's my shoulder seam. Okay, yeah, can't really see the collar, but there it is right there. All right. All right, and I'm going to, so looking good so far. Yay, I'm happy. All right, so now I've got that in the collar. Before I treat and finish this front edge, I'm going to go ahead and sew the sleeve in, because I like to sew my sleeve in one straight seam. All right, put this back on. I know that that's coming out fine. Chase says you're live. Let's go. Let's go. All right. See, this will come together relatively fast. All right, so that's all the pieces I've already used. Here's my sleeve. Okay, that's my sleeve pieces. Okay. All right, and I've got my sleeves marked, the front and the back. So I'm going to go ahead and lay this out. Hi, Brittany. How art thou? Okay. So I can tell by the notches that I've cut, if you can see it. There's double notches right there, double cuts, which is a double notch. And then there's a single cut here, which is a single notch. So I'm going to actually match my sleeves up to that. All right, so there's a single on this side and a double on this side. So here is a single. This is for the other side. Okay, so it's a single, and then this is the shoulder seam. So we'll match the shoulder seam of the sleeve with the shoulder seam of the dress. Go ahead and I'll just use these clips. Okay. Then I'm gonna match, put the underarm seams together. And then I'll make sure that the notches and all of these things match up together. Usually here you would ease this in, but I'm not going to ease it. I don't have enough of my little pins. I don't know where all my little clips went. I moved them. So I'm just going to pin all my little cut notches. All right, I'm going to do the other side. And instead of easing, because the fabric is stretchy, I can stretch from one point to the next to make sure that it gets eased in the way it's supposed to. Caleb wants to know if I can make a pink pizza shirt. No, sir. Can't make a pink pizza shirt. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and sew that in. Making sure my notches line up together. Still. Going from one point to the next. Okay. Drop that down in there. Stretch. Definitely want to make sure I'm going to drop my stitches down to about 2.5. Should have did that from the beginning. Careful not to run over my pins because I want to save my machine as long as I can. All right, one sleeve is in. Okay, and already I need to unpick something because I caught some fabric. Okay. You calling it a night? All right, Tawanda. All right, thank you for hanging out with me. All right. Mm-mm. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go back over this part. I'm going to flip this over. Let's see here. Just have to reinforce that a little bit. Okay. And still kind of peaked it a little bit right there. I'm looking for near perfection. Are you referring to the demon remark? Or maybe you do hear demons. Maybe you need prayer. Need prayer? Usually about what time? What time is it? 12 o'clock. It's about the time that the demons come out. So you might do hear demons. But you don't hear them here. Because ain't nothing come against the blood of Jesus. Nothing. Every demon, every name must bow to the name of Jesus. So ain't no fear here. So might be very true. You might do hear demons. I suggest you pray. All right. All right. Let's see here. Got one sleeve in and one to go. Amen. Listen, got time to fool with no foolishness. I know who my God is. There are demons. Amen. But I know the power of the blood and the power of the name of Jesus. So ain't no fear here. I'll be happy to pray for you though. All right, let's see. Get this other one in. All right, that's the top of that one. Okay. Put the seam allowance over this way. Anything make me want to sing that song. In the name of Jesus, in the name of Jesus, we have the victory. Sing along with me. In the name of Jesus, in the name of Jesus, Satan, you have to flee. Who can stand for us when we use the mighty name of Jesus, 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 Jesus? We have the victory. In the name of Jesus. In the name of Jesus. Mm-mm, 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 mm-mm. In the name of Jesus. In the name of Jesus. Satan, you have to flee. That's what I'm talking about. In the name of Jesus. All right. Make sure I don't run over these pins. To be really careful going around this arm curve here because it's got to be right. Yes, they will flee. Yeah. Did I get what thing oiled down? What is the thing? Down in. Or is it down in my soul? I got the love of Jesus down in my soul. Or down in my heart. Where is it? Either way, probably about the same difference. Okay, y'all had to go over that pen. Okay. Yes, they will flee. All right. So got that. Got that in. Got that sleeve in. Okay, so now just gotta sew up the side. All right, so I'm gonna trim this down and then serge it. Yep, that's what I'm gonna do. Trim it down and serge it. I think those are, I don't know if these are the newer ones or not. They feel a little stiff. Oh, no, they cut pretty good though. Trying to take long strokes so I don't wear my wrist out. So like that's some good crickets now. You know, keep scrolling for one to talk to. I thought so. I used to sing that to my son when he was little. I was giving him a bath. Oh, wow, yeah. But you see, it's the crickets now. They're gone. They might still be around. I don't know. but can't stay. You start talking about Jesus. Okay. Yeah. Is it got the love of Jesus down in my soul, down in my heart? Down in my soul. Got the love of Jesus down in my heart. I think it's down in my heart. Down in my heart. I got the love of Jesus down in my heart. Down in my heart to stay. All right. Hey, Vicky, you still here too? Awesome. For once, I would have to watch the replay. I started watching late. I just had you playing in the background. Okay. All right, no problem. Listen, it'll be up for the replay. I ain't going nowhere. It's gonna be a video you can watch again and again. So if you're just joining in, I'm working on one of my make nines, trying to get it done because I had a lot of work this week. But I'm working on view B with the little modifications. Actually, brought the neckline in a little bit because I didn't want mine too wide. Now, is that her bra you see? Do you see a bra strap right there? Looks like it, don't it? See, that is what I do not want. All right, so, but I brought mine in a little bit. I added a collar to mine. I was thinking about adding, my sleeves are longer. I'm doing this view. So I'm thinking about adding cuffs to it, but I haven't decided yet. So when I get it all done, I'll decide whether I'm going to do the cuffs or not. But I do want to get all of this done. Right, I'm trimming this down. My surgeon's acting a little crazy and retarded right now. So I'm going ahead and trimming it up first so that way my serger, I think it's the blade. I gotta get a better blade. Now, what I noticed with this is I stitched this sleeve on with the sleeve facing up, but I stitched the other one with the sleeve facing down, meaning I had this piece that had more fabric in it was on the bottom, and it sewed up more smoothly than this side did. Hopefully that won't reflect on the outcome when I press it. Yeah, I don't know why I cut in the air. I don't. It takes longer to cut in the air. Okay. All right, bring you over here so I can serge this. I'm gonna serge with the sleeve on the bottom, just finishing off the edges. and get this trimmed up. Okay, and no, I'm not using my serger to trim it because, like I said, the blade is, I think it's dull. Okay. Hey, Miss Lynn. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. How many of y'all remember Welcome Back, Carter? Mr. Horseshack. All right. So now I get to stitch the sleeves, the sides up. So by me adding the sleeves in, I did the flat method of adding the sleeves in. So I mean, I add the sleeves in while the sides are still open, and I'm just going to sew the sleeves and the dress all in one. All right, I'm just going to pin it. All right. Remember, I'm pulling that just to give me a little stretch because this is not, the fabric is stretch fabric, but the thread itself is not stretch thread. And I don't have a stretch stitch on this commercial machine. So I'm using stretching a little bit. And yeah, if y'all hear that, you see it has a little bit of stretch to it. Y'all hear that knocking, that's my belt. Okay. Now I'm going to match. Okay. That's the side seam where the belt is. Match that up. And give it a little extra stitch under the arm. I'm going to put a little tiny stitch, like a 2, right here where the belt is, so it won't come undone. Shouldn't come undone anyway, but because it's going to be tugged on, just want to give it a little bit of extra support right there. I'm going to take it back to 2.5. Hey, Miss Lynn, Miss Color Lynn, how art thou? How are you, Miss Lynn? All right, so almost got one side down. Really don't need much stretch here because good. I'm glad, lady. So glad. You know, I think when they changed my motor to a servo motor, I think they changed my speed on my machine. Because my machine, my Juki used to go 5,500 stitches per minute. I don't think he is doing that now. So I think the type of motor that I got, I think it needed to be a different motor. Alright, so I really don't need this right now. I can put this away. I just want to make sure that I was doing this seams right. Alright, so I got one side in. Need to get the other side in. And it's almost done. I'll just have to decide if I'm going to do the cuffs or not. Pin the seams together under the arm so that the stitches can match underneath the seams, can match under there. I mean, it ain't like nobody gonna see them, right? But still, I know it. It was fast. It's too bad. Motor speed is different. I know it. You say that's, yeah, it was fast. So I don't know. I don't know if I'll do another motor or not, but yeah, it's a shame, especially when I'm doing my dresses and stuff. But it hasn't been too bad. It does pretty good. It's still 30, I think it's 3,500 stitches per minute now. I want to say that's what it is. All right. Okay. I'm just going to pin this here. Make sure that it stays in alignment. Now, one of the things that I could have used on this machine is a walking foot or the little velvet foot that I tend to use. As a matter of fact, let me take this off. I'm just going to test something really quick and see if it's going to stitch up any different. Because this sews like on velvet or slick fabric or whatnot. So I don't see my walking foot in there, but I'm going to try this. Now I need my I'm gonna have to use this little baby one. If it'll allow me to. If not, just have to. There we go. Okay, it's gonna allow me to see. It's gonna make a difference in the stitches. Well, look at there. Should have been using this all along on this fabric. Never heard of a velvet foot? Yeah, it helps with fabrics that are slick. You know, when you sew with velvet or any slick fabric, the fabric tends to slide around, and it's in it one piece, like the lower piece, feeds faster than the bottom piece, than the top piece. So by the time you get to the end of your stitch or your seam, you've got about that much difference in the seam. So this helps feed it evenly, and it helps keep your stitches from shifting. I mean, your fabric from shifting. Okay, I'll stitch that underside. Okay, so here is where I want to tighten that up. Okay, take that back to 2.5. Straighten this back up. Yeah, it works like a walking foot. Mm-hmm. Essentially the same thing. Pick up threads everywhere. Right. Oh, you know what? I think, ooh, I'm supposed to have a hole on one side. Supposed to have an opening on one side. Which side was it? And I stitched, ooh, I hope I don't cut a hole. Right. Okay. Or maybe it's a mock. Maybe it's a mock wrap. Or is it? Mm, okay, it doesn't say anything about leaving anything open because they're on the sides. So maybe it's a mock wrap dress. All right, we'll see. I can always open the seam back up, but I'm kind of feeling like maybe it can't be a mock wrap dress. I think I did something wrong, y'all. Dum 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 dum. Okay, let's see. Let me pull this other kind of piece out just to make sure. Yeah, I think I did something wrong. Or did I? I don't know. I'll see when I open this up. Yeah. I don't know. Let's see. I think I did something wrong. I think I was supposed to sew. The right sides together, lap right front over left matching centers. Okay, Face right sides together along center front, keeping back and tie ends free. Yeah, I'm confused now. Um, I think I was looking at one view. All right, y'all. Hey, Art Studio, tell me your first name. Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking it's supposed to be the hole for the belt. I'm actually making this dress right here. So, but I think I got ahead of myself, and let me read this a little bit clearer. Okay, so pin the ties. Ooh, I put the ties on the wrong. I think one of these ties was supposed to go. Okay, let's see what happened. I mixed two views up. So this view that I'm working on is sewn a little bit different than the other one. So I don't think it's supposed to be sewn together. Let me stop sewing, because I might have to pick something apart. I think I am. Let me look at this really good. Okay. Okay, so the way it looks, like the tie from the belt should be here. On this side. Okay. All right, yeah. Okay, so there's this piece right here on this side. Okay, so that's sewn in right. Okay, y'all, I'm gonna have to stand up and put this on so I can see. I like the colors in the panel material. It's gonna look good when you're done. That'll be a nice dress. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. All right, let me just try this on real quick. Let's see where I am. Tell me if I messed up. Okay, so I'm gonna show you where I am. Yeah. So y'all can see what I'm doing here. Okay. So I can see what happened. All right, so this tie right here is supposed to be here on the end right here. So and this piece right here should be sewn. It could either be sewn over here or I can tack it in. Like I can leave it loose if I want to, but make sure that it either buttons over here on the side so it'll stay. I can do it like that. Or or stitch it all the way down. I think I'm going to, so I think what happened was I mixed two views up. Then there's a different view on here. That long red dress is the one that I was actually following. It should have been following this one. But nonetheless, I could leave it like this and add a button and a loop right here to hold it together. So let me grab a pen because I won't stick myself. So just like in most wrap dresses, on the inside, you can button it, and there's a little loop right there. And then this comes over like this. This is still open. I don't have to stitch that down. And then there's a tie right here. So this tie needs to come back out so it can tie to this. So, but one is shorter, much shorter than the other one. So that's what let me know I need to move this from here to here. But when it's done, it's gonna tie over like this. That's the way that's supposed to do. Okay? And that's got to be sewn in together like that. All right. So, but once it's done, it's going to be pretty. Anti-furry soldier. What's up? I love the collar, right? So I'm trying to decide if I do the collar, I'm just going to do just stitch a serge around the edge and top stitch it down here. Okay. And then get this thing, I can't stand it. There it is. So yeah, I'm gonna top stitch it here, and then just serge it and then top stitch it down from here to here. So I need to do that before I finish this off. Um, and then move this belt out of this seam, take that back out, and I'll move it over here and stitch all of that down. But definitely need to, there's going to be, it's going to tie here actually, and that's what's going to keep this together. So yeah, I can see that. But I definitely need to make sure that the button on the inside is in the right place, because if not, that inside, I don't know if you can see it here. If I don't move it, that inside is going to be hanging out like that, and we can't have that. All right. I love the color of this fabric, y'all. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. All right, y'all. Yeah, I love it. Okay. So the tie needs to be removed. What happens to that area? I'm going to stitch that back closed. It's just going to get stitched closed. On the inside, I'm going to add a button. And then I need to add a little thread loop. Or I can add a buttonhole on this part. I can add a buttonhole here, and so it'll button over the button right here. So that'll stay right there. And then this part, a flap over. This tie will move over here and it'll tie to this, and that'll hold that together. So that'll be like that. Yes. I love this fabric. I love, 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 love. I don't think I'm gonna do a cuff. I'm gonna tell you why. Because it's busy, and you know, just kind of like the collar almost. You almost don't see the collar, right? So I don't think that I'm gonna even waste time doing the cuffs. If it was a solid, then I probably would. But with this, it's not gonna even really matter. You're not gonna even really see it. So I'm not gonna do the cuff. You get it? No cuff? Yeah. Right. Lynn says, so Lynn says, I always fight collars when wearing them. I do without or just band collar instead of a shirt collar. Okay, they never lay down. Um, and it's about how you sew them on, Lynn. I don't know. So maybe we need to do a class on collars, something. All right. What do y'all think if I did a Patreon class where we did just classes, specific classes, or go back to my sewing class, my So Much Talent classroom on Facebook, where I just invite certain ones in, or I just do these classes and they're available to those payees or payers or however you want to call it. What do y'all think about that? Because I want to do more of these, y'all. Um, so yeah, y'all, I'm loving this fabric. It looks a lot better than I imagined, but I love it. All right, y'all. Okay, I'm loving it. All right, you loving it? Thank you so much. All right, let me see. Lynn says, oh, I miss Periscope too. Yeah, but it's a lot like Periscope. The only thing is that with Periscope, like the comments used to go real fast. At least you can scroll back down. Um, there is a transcript, Lynn, that at once the broadcast ends, that you can go back and go through the transcript and read everything that was said on here. You don't have a Facebook? God blessings are for us. What's your first name? Are you on Instagram? And they don't have to. Oh, so that was speaking of the Facebook classrooms. I could also do Zoom, or I can do StreamYard, where I can stream stream these classes. But Patreon, I'm not sure how you meet on Patreon. I have to read more into that. Um, Linda, okay, you said that before, Linda. All right. Let's see. That's where I found you. I used to watch you on Periscope. Oh, really? You did, Miss Linda? That's been a long time ago. All right. Are you on Instagram? Okay. Y'all been trying to figure out. I can't get how to do the broadcast channel or a subscription. I can't figure out how to get the prescription or subscription. Sorry, on Instagram. So that I can share certain things with certain people. So once I figure that out, that may work too. But I'm gonna figure the best way to do the classes again because I do realize some people are not on Facebook. Like there are certain people that I interact with on Instagram that are not on Facebook. So I just got to figure out the best way to kind of interact with everybody. Now I could do private classes through YouTube and only yeah, through YouTube, stream it, and you would have like a certain password, like I can do Zoom or something like that, or StreamYard, and you would be privy to it. Only certain ones who's doing the classes would be privy to it, but you could come back to YouTube to watch it because you would have a certain password to be able to do that. Lynn, you don't have Instagram anymore? Oh no. I know Lynette, Linda, and Lynn. How about that? The three Lyns. I appreciate y'all. All right, so Lynn, Color Lens, I'm gonna call her. Lynn, when did you change your name? Heffernan. Heffernan. I don't remember you. Is that new? I just remember Lynn D.T. Hirschberger. When did you go to Heffernan? You want to figure out more about YouTube Live? Okay. All right. Well, maybe I could look into the StreamYard thing or the Zoom thing. Do y'all do Zoom? It was too much after surgery in June. Oh, yeah. So don't you remember Color Lynn Joy? Lynn, Linda, Lynette. That's awesome. All right. So you do Zoom? Okay. Hi, Anaya. How art thou? All right. So Heffernan is my married name, 27 years. Oh, blessings. Hirschberger is my biz art name. Oh, fancy, Miss Colorlyn Hirschberger Joy. Hi, Adrian. How art thou? I'm good. I'm good. Uh, when you're dining with your husband, Brian Lee, I use Heffernan. Oh, y'all usually do your word together, right? You can get back on IG. You know what? I only do like story lives on Instagram, but I haven't taught anything on Instagram. So it will probably be through Zoom if I do it, unless I figure out this whole Patreon thing. I think Patreon still works either through Zoom or StreamYard. So um, if it's easier for everybody, I can hang out here on YouTube and I can just stream either through StreamYard or Zoom. StreamYard is like Zoom, but if most people have Zoom, and but either way, you'll be able to get access to it because it will be certain ones. I'll figure out all that, but I'm working on all of that right now. I promise you, I am. I want to bring back the fitting classes that I did before, like the pants fitting, the dress fitting, how to tissue fit, the way I do it, y'all. And then what else? Oh, the designer dress class. So I haven't done a formal dress class in a long time. I did one. So I want to get back to doing that. Um, Hi, Chloe. How art thou? Chloe 24 blog. Now y'all gotta like my page, like my video. I shouted y'all out now. Y'all like my video. I ain't playing. All right. No, don't do the tarot. No, sir, or no, ma'am. Not sure. I can't see your icon. But no, don't do the tarot. Um, let's see. Hirschberger is my ex, but I started biz with that name. Okay, gotcha, gotcha. That's right. Take the time to like. I appreciate y'all, Naya. Thank you so much for liking. All right, so y'all, I've gotten this far. It's getting late, so I'll come back with part two where I finish all this up and maybe start on the second dress. All right. So all right, so now I know what I need to do. So I'm gonna go ahead and mark this that I need to take this belt off. And this is the side, and I'm gonna mark this on the inside that this is where I need to add a button, or yeah, I need to add a button. And I'll come back so I can show you how to do that. So I need to add a button there, and then this is where I'll add a loop here, or a buttonhole, one of the two. That way that'll connect there and hold that together. And then once I move this over to this part, then that'll be able to tie here. Okay, so that'll keep that together. All right. But y'all, I am loving this. And I'm so glad I added the collar. It looks so much better. I'm glad. Can you see the difference? Can you see the difference in me um, making the modifications to bring this over? You see, like on this right here, it's so wide open right here. Before I did the drawing right there, that was wide open like that. So it would have been just open like that. I like that. But it looks more professional, more expensive to me than this. And then with the collar on it, I like it better with the collar. And I don't know if you can see it here, how the collar lays flat. There's no rippling, no bunching up right here because I interface both the top and the bottom piece. All right, but I like that. So, and then the sleeve came in really nice. You know, I'm loving this. Loving it, loving it, loving it. So, yeah. So when I come back, not sure, maybe it might be early. So because I might have a little bit of time, um, tomorrow before noon, um, to get back at it. So if I do, y'all just catch the replay of part two. All right. Or I don't know that I'll be in late like I was tonight. I don't know. All right. Um, Thank you, Miss Lynn. Yeah, it's so much better. Thank you so much. Miss Vicky's still in here. Yay. Don't forget to do a video showing your Make 9 and link Rochelle for the challenge. Thank you so much. I will. Because I do need to talk about my plans. I never did. I shared the video on Instagram, and so I tried to make that picture my photo for this video, but I couldn't find it. I got to pull it up. So I'm gonna edit this and add that video because I think I added this, not this one. I think I added this one as my icon, my photo picture. But this is what's coming up next in this fabric. So I already have it cut out and everything. So I'll be working on this next. All right, so y'all just have to stay tuned for that. Let's see. When it says absolutely, we can see the difference. It's more classy, especially. That's the word I was looking for, Lynn. Classy. It's classier. Yeah, it's more classy, especially with the collar. Yes, I definitely agree. And it does look more expensive, right, Linda? It does. I interfaced the collar. Let's see. I used the FuseNet, the ProNet, ProFuse, I think it's called. Let me see if I can find it so I can show it to you. Hang on. Okay, so it's this. It looks like the Trico knit interfacing, but it's called Profuse, or it's a light. This one's a lightweight, so you want to get it to match the compatibility of your fabric. You don't want it to be too light, and you don't want it to be too heavy. So I used this. I don't know if you can see it, but it is a fusing knit, but it's I think it's called Profuse. Um, I love this on just about everything and anything. The only thing that I use differently is like the it looks like a shirt, a shirting fabric, but it's a interfacing. You use it on like cuffs and collars on wovens. That's the only difference. But this is for knits. Let's see. No Pellon. Oh yeah, this is Pellon. Yeah, that's Pellon. Okay. Yeah, Pellon. This is Pellon. Yeah, and that's usually what I use. Is there another brand, Lynette, that you like better than Pellon? But this is what I like. Yeah, but this is, and I always throw my sheets away, so I can't tell you what the number is for this, but it definitely is a Pellon. Um, let's see. Good night, Linda. Thank you so much for hanging out, and just stay in touch. Keep following. Following here on Instagram so you can keep up when we're doing the classes, okay? Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you. I was just looking at the fabric on your shelf. Oh, which one? Which one, Lynette? I wish I could like comments. Oh, you can't like the comment? Oh, no, I don't think you can. It makes it hard to like comments and stuff on here. Which fabric on my shelf? Are you are you talking about this one? That's like a faux fur. Profuse, yeah. Profuse is the one that's Profuse is the one I think I use in the shirts and stuff. That's too heavy for this. All right. You love tricot interfacing? Yeah, me too, Lynn. Most stuff I use it. Um, there used to be a fashion sewing supply. I don't think that they're still in business anymore, but Fashion Sewing Supply used to sell all types of interfacing, even like 60-inch wide interfacing, if you could believe it. Her name was Pam. I want to say her name was Pam Ernie, and she was in New York, I believe, or Connecticut, somewhere like that. And she used to sell all types of interfacing, different colors. I think she used to create it herself. I'm not sure, but it was fusible, non-fusible. She had like gray, black, white, cream, different kinds. But when I looked her up, I didn't see her anymore. But Profuse, I want to say Profuse is not made by Pellon. I thought Profuse is a different brand. I mean, it's a different type of interfacing. I have to look it up and see, but that's a good thing to talk about, the different types of interfaces. So maybe that's something I can look into. All right. But anyway, y'all, I am going to call it a night, and I'm going to end this video, and then I'll do a part two where I finish everything up. So what I have left to do, like I said, is to move this belt over to here, add a button and a buttonhole or loop that I can loop the button, and then continue to sew the side seam down, hem it, the sleeves and the bottom, and then of course hem the turn the seams down right along here. All right. This is a very lightweight fabric. It's a ITY knit, very lightweight, and so I would definitely have to wear something up underneath it. Uh, but it feels so good though. Yes, feels good. All right. Well, thank y'all for hanging out. Thank y'all for hanging out. I appreciate it. Joanne Easy Knit. Yeah, that's a good one. Um, um, Lynn mentioned no Pelon. Okay. Yeah. Joanne has the Pelon Easy Knit as Trico. Yeah, that's where I normally get it. Um, don't you just love these late night creeps? So funny. All right, okay, yes, thank you. All right, you're welcome, Linda. Thank you so much for being here tonight. You know what, Lynn? Let's talk about that for a minute because it used to be, I used to ask myself that. I wondered how uh, people in the old days, what did they use for stabilizers? And you have a great point. They used like cotton, which was stable. It was, um, wovens are stable fabrics. Like they don't move, they don't have a stretch or anything like that. So they would either double up on the fabrics, um, or something like that to create, what they needed. Um, so sometimes, every now and then, like when I make my dresses, um, what I would use for like a inner lining, like you have your interface and some like you can't really. It depends on the garment. You can't really or fuse um, interface into satins or silks and things like that because the glue will shine through or show through. So they do have non-fusible interfaces, but a lot of times I would use another satin, which was a firm fabric to create an inner lining, which was it gave it a little bit more stability. So, but yeah, bed sheets, things like that, that worked. Um, Silks, organza, a lot of times can be used for interface and for sheer fabrics. You know, yeah, it's faux fur. Yeah, that's faux fur. My favorite fabric. Somebody asked that question not long ago, and I don't know that I have a favorite fabric. I don't know. Hmm, that's a good question. I don't know that I have a favorite. I like working with just about anything. Um, yeah, I can't say that I have a favorite. I can't. Why can't I say favorite? I'm getting sleepy. Is Trico interfacing for knit only? Uh, m- Mostly yes, but I don't always use it for knit just for knits. I like it in just about everything. And I think that was you, Lynn, that was saying that. No, it was Lynn, Color Joy Lynn, was saying she liked to use Trico knit and just about everything. But this right here, I do. I like to use it in just about everything. I like the weight of it. Now, if I need a heavier fabric, of course, I use something different. So you have to be mindful of the weights because this could come in a softer, really soft fabric for really lightweight fabrics like knits, like really soft knits. Um, so you have to check the weight of it, and it's color coded, so you could see what you would need for what fabrics, and it'll say whether it's lightweight, medium weight, featherweight, or those different types of interfaces. So, but yeah, I don't just use it for knits. To answer your question, hey Gracie, you love sewing? What do you like to sew? Um, no, let me do this here so I can see this. All right, so yeah. So it says when I worked at Joanne, we had a whole handful of us who used it on anything medium weight or less. Right, exactly. Um, oh, you welcome. You welcome. Um, yeah, Easy Knit comes in white and black. You're absolutely right. When especially when you're purchasing it in the retail stores, you could only get it in those colors. It can be dyed, which amazes me because it has the glue, especially the fusible kind. The fusible can be washed. It can be dyed. I think you have to be careful with it. Might have to use like cold dyes or something like that. But it can be dyed in different colors, which I have to test that theory. Um, let's see. They use regular fabric without adhesive. Want um, Nixon, you have 19,000 subscribers. Okay, I'll give you a shout out if you follow. Guess I just called the name out, didn't I? Silly me. All right, or even silk for lightweight things. Right, exactly, Lynn. Um, Inner lining was more common. Right. Hi, Anna. How art thou? Thank you so much for being here. So, mom taught you how to sew in 1965, and our culotte jumpsuit had sheet of interfacing. It had a sheet of interfacing. Did you have like your whole culotte jumpsuit was interfaced? Uh, you don't speak Spanish, but you write in Spanish. You meant no hable English. I'm not sure which one you meant, but you wrote that in Spanish. No hable español. Okay. My favorite fabric is wool jersey. Okay. I never really thought about it. I mean, you can see that I have different types of fabric. I work with satins and silks and chiffons and stuff like that all day long. Um, I have knits, I have cottons, I have faux furs. I do a lot of faux furs, silkies. Um, yeah, I like viscose. I like nice drapey weight for my pants. Um, I don't know, anything that looks good, I like it. So I can't say that I have one particular one that I like. You like any wool? Uh, Lynn says, do you think before, Lynette says, do you think before your class, we can send you questions that we may have? Yeah, definitely. I did that with my pants fitting class. Like I still have that classroom up. That pants fitting classroom was probably about 2 years ago. And yeah, you're able to go in, like I would set up a separate group. Like if you had questions or wanted to show pictures, or if you had questions, like if you were working on something and you had an issue, you were stuck on something, you could post your pictures inside the group. Were you in that classroom, Lynn? I want to say, I can't remember if you were in that pants classroom or not. But yeah, definitely, I would have somewhere where you could post questions, ask questions and stuff before we get started. Um, um, I don't know the Hecho Manitas. I'm not sure is that, but are you asking me what I'm making, what I'm sewing? Um, are you asking me if I'm making a dress for me, sewing a dress for me? Since I'm not sure what Manitas is. But yes, this is a dress that I'm making. And it is this pattern right here. And I'm doing this version. Yeah. Vestido, I think that's close. What or are you making a statement? What address? Not sure. I had to brush up on my Spanish. He was saying upskirt. All right, so Lynn, easiest dye for easy knit is Kool-Aid and warm, oh, warm water and time. Nylon and wool and silk like acid dyes. Okay, so I noticed that Joann's, and I had to learn this the hard way. I didn't realize that, but um, the RIT dyes are for like the natural fiber fabrics, and then the poly dye, like they have an eye poly dye, that's for like your synthetics, um, polyesters and your nylons and things like that. So I had to learn that the hard way. So now I'm mindful of which ones that I gravitate to. Um, yeah. Oh, you just use sheets. Okay. Um, let's see. Lynn says she asked if we don't speak Spanish. No, no español. No hable español. Nope. Nope. At least not well. Might get a couple of words in here and there, but at least not well. You make handmade dresses. Okay, is that what you were asking? Do y'all make handmade dresses? No, I most of my stuff is done by the sewing machine, like true handmade dresses sewn by hand. No, mm-mm. I don't like hand sewn. Period. So to try to make a whole garment handmade, is that what you're asking, or are you considering handmade by the machine? Because that's one thing. Nowadays when people say handmade, they mean you made it yourself. But true handmade is sewn by the hand. Yeah. So why are you laughing so hard? Is it Keezer? Sosie? So someone at my class asked the teacher if she could upskirt the class. Silly. All right, so y'all, that's it. I'm done. Thank y'all for the likes. Now I know there was more folks on here. Y'all didn't give me no likes, but that's okay. Y'all be back. Appreciate y'all tonight. Thank y'all for watching. It was crazy to ask her that. Yeah, it was crazy. What were they thinking? Who knows? I will. All right, you are much welcome, Irene. I hope you would follow. Hope you subscribe and like this broadcast, like this live, and I hope you would continue to follow because there will be more. All right, I appreciate you all and thank you for the questions. I hope I answered everybody's questions okay. Miss Irene, I do have to brush up on my Spanish. All right, y'all have a good one. Love y'all to life.